The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, marked a turning point in North American history, leading to significant territorial changes. With the U.S. emerging victorious, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo granted vast lands, including present-day California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming, to the United States. Yet, despite their military superiority, the U.S. opted not to annex all of Mexico. Several key factors influenced this decision, including racial attitudes, political concerns, economic considerations, and logistical challenges. 1. Racial and cultural prejudices. One of the dominant reasons for not annexing all of Mexico was the prevailing racial attitudes of the time. Many American leaders and citizens, particularly those who subscribed to the ideology of manifest destiny, viewed Mexicans, predominantly Catholic and of mixed indigenous and European descent, as racially and culturally inferior. They feared that annexing a large population with different customs, languages, and religions would destabilize the U.S. socially and politically. These prejudices made many in Congress and the public hesitant to incorporate Mexico's population into the Union. 2. Political concerns. The United States was already grappling with tensions over the expansion of slavery. Adding Mexico in its entirety would introduce millions of new residents, many of whom lived in territories unsuited for plantation agriculture. This raised concerns about how to balance the power between free and slave states. Some Southern politicians initially supported full annexation, hoping to expand slavery into new territories. However, opposition from Northern leaders, combined with fears of exacerbating sectional divisions, curtailed these ambitions. 3. Economic factors. While the annexed territories were seen as economically valuable due to their resources and strategic positions, the rest of Mexico presented challenges. Much of central and southern Mexico had less economic potential from the perspective of U.S. policymakers, being less suited for large-scale agricultural development or immediate industrial exploitation. Moreover, the cost of governing and integrating such a vast and diverse territory would have placed a significant financial burden on the U.S. government. 4. Logistical and administrative challenges. Annexing all of Mexico would have required managing a territory more than double the size of the United States at the time. Governing such an expansive and geographically diverse area, especially one with an established population and cultural identity, would have been a monumental challenge. U.S. policymakers recognized the potential for resistance, unrest, and difficulty in maintaining control over such a large and distant population. 5. Moral and diplomatic considerations. While expansionists like President James K. Polk championed the war and territorial acquisition, others in the U.S. government sought to avoid being perceived as imperialistic aggressors. Annexing all of Mexico could have drawn criticism from European powers and undermined America's self-image as a democratic republic. By limiting the territorial gains to the northern parts of Mexico, the U.S. achieved its expansionist goals without overreaching. The decision not to annex all of Mexico after the Mexican-American War was shaped by a combination of racial prejudices, political tensions, economic pragmatism, logistical considerations, and diplomatic restraint. The acquisition of the northern territories satisfied the United States' desire for expansion while avoiding the challenges of integrating Mexico's population and territory in its entirety. This pragmatic approach reflected the complexities of 19th-century American politics and shaped the borders of the modern United States.